Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Clueless 8 again. We're going to take a look at an old friend of mine, good old Intuitive Surgical. I did extremely well with this stock back in the 2011 2012 time frame and prior to that. But my postings on Stock Twits began April 27, 2011, and many older followers knew very well my activity and my track record on Isrg. So we're back again in the game, and let's see what goes on. Okay, so we have a very geometrical, almost Lego-like pattern on this particular daily chart that we're looking at. Okay, I've transplanted the Fibonacci retracements with some pattern symmetry, which would be very obvious to anybody who's looking at this right now. All right, we have a inverse head and shoulders mini one here in 2013 till January 2014, which broke up to the upside, broke out to the upside. Here's the head, left shoulder, right shoulder. Here's the head, very similar now. This is May 12th I'm looking at. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder, and now we need to break out. Okay, so if we break out, we're going to hit the first gap, and this is what I was showing earlier. And the gap is basically, it's a white gap. It's between 398 and 420. So if we get into the gap, the first level is going to be the 398 level, which is about 24 points from here. Pretty damn good when you own some of the weekly calls, which I've specified before. And then the upper end of the gap is obviously 420. Once we get that, I believe there's going to be a slew of selling that meets the stock. However, if you notice what happened here, and patterns do repeat themselves regardless of what the outside micro news is on the company, it moved quite rapidly. It moved from down here, the 350 level, it went to 450, so 100 points. So 100 points from here. Again, we are looking at around, excuse me, it's starting to yawn, 450, and then if it's an overshoot, we come and kiss the lower end of this gap, which is around 465. So let's not get too optimistic. I think we're good for about 25 points from here. If not, we're looking at about 40. We're looking at about 45 points, 25 to 45 points. Covered this gap. So there's Isrg for you. Okay, this very aggressively powerful stock, very small float, very manipulated by market makers when it comes to the options that are listed on this. Widespread, so you have to fight for it in the middle, but they do move. I've had great experience with this particular company, both on the primarily on the long side and a few times on the short side. But at this point, I'm starting to see something which is telling me that it wants to go a little bit higher. So the range would be, like I said, 400, and right here we're at 374. Obviously, I'd love to have gotten in around the 351 level, but I believe my recommendation last week was around here, 360. So we're up 14 points from there. I've been scalping along the way, so this time I'm holding it. That's Isrg. Let's take a look at CMG, good old Chipotle. I put a daily chart up there. This is a very clean chart, so please take a good hard look at it. Don't have to be genius to figure out what's going on. Okay, Chipotle is basically moving in between a very wide channel. It's moved over the 34 on strength. It's moved over the 50. It's being bought. It's being bought right now. It's been accumulated. We had a price target increase, I believe, or something around 480. I'm sorry, 580. What we are seeing here is that if this stock crosses over the 555 mark, let's say, or 553, it's going to try to get to with 590. So you got about 40 points here on this stock. What's the downside? The downside, it breaks below 532. Comes down and tests the 34 moving average at 512, and then basically goes nowhere. Internals, however, are suggesting, very importantly, that change the color on the OBV 1 second, that we are moving higher And let's see what the on-balance volume is telling us. Let me make this screen bigger. On-balance volume is basically telling us that this stock is under severe accumulation. Very sharp move up. Notice this crash down. For selling, institutional baskets of good old Chipotle burritos being thrown out in the garbage. Then comes the crossover right here, and then we start to see the histogram going ballistic. Is it overbought yet? On a short-term basis, yes. On a daily basis, like I said, I believe the stock goes higher into the summer months. Okay, so this is a big plus. RSI is moving up. Everything is pointing. The MACDs have a gaping open mouth, which is important. So I think it's still got room to move. On a short-term basis, I think it gets to about 560, if not up here. On the downside, we have to watch these levels: 530, I'm sorry, 532, and then 513. So that's CMG for you. Let's take a look at XON. Many people have asked me about this. I pointed this out the other day. I have a common, I don't have options on this. I basically just own the stock. It looks that this thing is, moving on. Nothing great to report here. It's not a high momentum stock. I still think it gets to the upper end of the channel, around 2278. Don't rush this. This is a swing play. Just let it, float up on its own. If you notice, I didn't cover any of the big cap technology stocks and such that I normally do, because those really, my charts before clearly have shown the pattern. The parameters are where I think they would go and where they have gone. There's no reason to repeat it right now. So I am looking. So this is it for tonight. Let me quickly cover Twitter. Twitter seems to be doing fine. Sharp move up. We are creating this is a nice little, nice little breakaway cup, if you want to call it, and then we created a small handle. Okay, so we better hold this. We better hold 33. Let's put it this way. We better hold 33.48, or let's say we hold 33, or even 32.72. And then we have to make a move up into this gap. If it fails to reach this gap, Twitter is a lost cause. It's going to lose its momentum. But so far so good. This is the hourly. Let me look at the daily chart on Twitter. So daily is interesting. Daily is telling me that everything is okay. Large volume accumulation bars in green. Positive divergences, and it needs to get into this gap. It needs to get into the $36-$38 range, and then attack the 50-day moving average at where is the 34 here? 1 second. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, the 34 on the daily is actually at 48, the 50 is at 42. So if this thing really needs to move up where there's significant institutional accumulation again, it needs to move up over $42. That's quite a lot of money from here, from 34 to 42. But let's see if it gets there. But so far so good. But I still think it enters this gap, which is 36 to 38. So that itself is also pretty good money on these weekly calls. So do keep an eye on that, and we go from there. So nothing to report on this. It's a rest day today for it. After being up more than 10%, it was up 0.7%, so that's not bad at all. So we need to see what the action is over the next couple of days. Also, very importantly, we need to see the on-balance volume. We need to see this on-balance volume really. It's starting to ramp up, really ramp up over. It's minus 2.46 now. I'm sorry, it's minus 1.14. It needs really to go up to about +2, +3, and that's when you start to see this thing attack the $40+ level. That's it for tonight. I hope all of you are having a great week, and I shall re-engage with you guys tomorrow. guys and gals, and